everyone, and welcome to the continuation of the Transformers Power Core Combiners set, and this is part 4 of the Power Core Combiners with me and my dad here.
There you go.
So for today's Power Core Combiner review of part 4, we will be taking a look at this guy. And this guy is part of the Protectabot teams. I'm talking about the guy that forms the torso, the head, and the shoulders and hips.
So some of these ain't quite the right ones to go with this one, but it's what we had at the time to put him together, so...
Well, one of these limbs is part of this guy here, and that is the little red helicopter that forms the arm here. And this does kind of look like blades, because blades in the G1 Transformers cartoon was part of the Protectabots. But this little red helicopter does not have a robot mode. He just has an arm mode.
Because in this faction, all these limbs are drones. They're not actually Transformers or robots. Well, they're Transformers, but they just transform into the limb. That's what makes the Power Core Combiners different than your other Scramble City factions.
Except of course, the center guy here, because he's the only one that has a robot mode and a vehicle mode.
So, with that said, we are going to see y'all here in a minute at the reviewing station, and this is part 4 of the Power Core Combiners, and we will see y'all here in a minute.
Stay tuned. And here we are at the review area, and here's the combined mode here of the Protectabot here. Well, this guy and this helicopter here is part of the Protectabot line from the Power Core Combiner lines, except for these 3 here.
Yes.
And as you can see, we do have some comparisons here. And also, this guy here is a repaint of this guy here that forms the torso, the robot mode, and the vehicle mode.
They're both the same Transformers, they're just different colors. One is an Autobot, that's an Autobot, and that's a Decepticon. They both transform the same, they look the same, they just have different paints on them, and different symbols. That's it. And a different light bar. I just noticed. That's yellow, and his is blue.
You can see right there.
Yeah, 2 different light bars. And that's the bad thing about this guy, trying to get him to stand. Because like I said in the other reviews, it's a mixed bag. Some like them, other people say that they're waste. So, y'all make y'all's own decision.
And speaking of this guy here, the Decepticon one of this guy here, I have done a review of this guy before. And he does have the same name, but he doesn't look like this. He looks totally different, and it was a custom made figure, which looks exactly like this guy. Well, it has the same paint schemes, but there is a little bit of differences of the custom version that I have reviewed to match this guy, and that was Smolder.
So is his name Smolder?
Yes.
Too? Okay.
But the one that I reviewed in the past was a custom, which is just somebody who made up. But this is the real Smolder here.
Okay.
And he came with a little minicon named Chopster, who forms the little axe, like this guy's little minicon partner does, but we don't have it.
He's somewhere around here.
But this is the real Smolder that you can get at the stores. The one that I reviewed in the past was someone who just made up, and it's a custom.
Okay. Alrighty, so this is the Defensor team. We're putting him to his side. This is what they're claiming to be Defensor. This guy, he feels like he's just going to sit back for a minute. The Defensor team, I think, looks really out of proportion.
Yeah.
Really bad. Because in order to get his arms like they should be, you literally have to go way up here, and that is the correct alignment for his combined mode.
And also, the proportions on this combined mode is also out of place, because he has a tiny little torso and massive limbs.
Yeah.
Like broad limbs.
On a good touch, though, he does have some light piping that we was checking out earlier before we started, just to make sure he had light piping, which he does. And it may be kind of hard to see. We might have to move his head so y'all can see it. Alright, let's see here. Can we raise his head up some?
Oh, they could see it. You could see it here.
Okay. So, not all these combiners had light piping, just here and there. So, it's just what they decided to do at the time when they made the mold. Because some of these do, some of these don't, some of these are painted in, some of them hold together, some of them don't. It's just, it was, these power core combiners are very confusing. Now, it's a good thought, a good gimmick if they would have put more time and thought in the process of how each limb looked connected performed and stayed together. So it's a good gimmick. Maybe later on they'll redesign them to where they move more better articulated and accurate. But like I said, this come out in when?
2010.
I want to say 2010.
It is. But it's also from like 2009.
Somewhere around that area, they released a whole lot of these. This isn't just one faction. They made multiple of Decepticons and Autobots. So anyway, we are going to let Colton get on with Smolder here. Transform him.
And I don't know the Autobot's name here. I just know this guy's name because I have reviewed him before. Just a different look.
Okay.
Of somebody who made him to look like this guy. But this is the real Smolder here. Now, before we transform him, let's take a look closer at some of the details here. You can see his head sculpt here does have some gold paint, and I don't know if his eyes are also painted in. It's probably harder to see. Or I think these are his eyes. He does have some eyes, but on mine, they're not really painted in red from what I can see on camera. And he does have some white on his chest. And he does have a little Minicon port that you can flip up and attach a little Minicon onto. And his legs here. And also his arms here. And he does have the two Decepticon symbols on both shoulders here. And here's the side view here. The back here. And he doesn't have a lot of backpack kibble on him. So he does clean up really well on the back. And here's the other side here. And I will have to say, his robot mode looks really cool.
His helmet kind of
So-
reminds me of a samurai. It does. Kind of looks like a samurai. His helmet kind of looks like a samurai. One of them old samurais. That's just my opinion. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, and for articulation, before we get into the transformation, head is on a ball joint, which you could see on the back, but it can't really look up and down, so he just has a swivel. Arms can rotate all the way around. They can move in and out on this joint and in and out on this joint here. Double jointed elbows. The top one is just a hinge joint, and the bottom one is on a ball joint here. Legs can go forward, back, in and out, thigh swivel, knee, and that's it.
I think his red counterpart of the bad guy Decepticon faction of Smolder looks good. I like it better than the white version that makes up Defensor, or what they're trying to call Defensor. I like his paint scheme. I like his paint scheme better than the other one. It just looks more menacing.
I also like his paint scheme a lot better than the white one. So let's get to the transformation. Now, I'm first going to start off by transforming him into the combined mode. So let's get him in combined mode.
To make the torso, the head, the arms, the legs that attach to him.
To get him in combined mode, you're going to take his elbows and bring them up. And take his shoulders, rotate them down, and bring them up. And flip up these combiner pegs here. Then you're going to open up his chest so you can take Smolder's head and rotate it around to reveal the combined mode head, and close up the chest and rotate his legs around. Take his feet, bring them down, and bring down these light bars so you can bring these up. And flip down the connectors here.
So you're going to take the same with that leg. Now that one there also has light piping, but it's yellow.
And that's the... Oh. Almost forgot something else. The last thing you need to do is take these and flip these in, and these holes is where these black tabs are going to go into.
Okay. Yes.
And now you're done.
Now you're done, and bring it up some to the camera. Okay.
You could see the light piping right there.
So the Decepticons have a yellow light piping visor, where the Autobots have the blue light piping visor. Okay. I still like his color scheme better than the white.
And for articulation for the combined mode, I'm going to go ahead and use this one here. Ball joint at the combined mode head, but it doesn't have much up and down. And the arms can rotate all the way around, but they don't move out. Well, they don't move in and out because due to the way his shoulders are designed. And the legs have the same articulation as Smolder and this guy's articulation does, where his legs can move forward, back, in and out, but his new knees here do have a bend here where you can bend them at the knee. And of course, swivel at the knee. And that's it.
His, like I said, his proportions just look weird. It's out of portion. But it's what they did. Even trying to get him to stand is a good job. So that's what they look like together. One Autobot, one Decepticon, one white, one red and black. Same Transformer, same design, just different colors. They slapped the Autobot symbol on the white guy. They slapped a Decepticon symbol on the red guy.
Now, let's get him into vehicle mode. First, I will have to adjust the camera a little bit. Now to get him in vehicle mode, we're going to take these combiner pegs, flip them in, flip these down, and rotate his knees around so they look like this, and then attach them together so that it forms the front part of the vehicle. And we're gonna flip back in the combine mode head. And now we're gonna take the shoulders, bring them down, rotate them up, flip in these combiner pegs here. And then you just bring these in.
And they're gonna
and tap them together.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I don't know if y'all saw that, but these legs come in and they hook in on that little black tab right there.
Oh, yes.
That little black tab, it helps in line the whole back part of the truck up.
And there you have the vehicle mode.
Now, as far as the vehicle mode, it's a good looking vehicle mode. As a matter of fact, the logos on it itself look pretty good. What do we have here? We have fire. Zoom in on that right there. I want them to see that. That's the logo that they put on there. That's a Decepticon symbol with fire in the background.
And he has it on both sides here.
Yeah, now that's pretty neat. Let me see if they did that to the same. Nope, they didn't do it to the Autobot. Just a Decepticon.
And he does have some painted in headlights here.
That is a, what do you, that's a good looking detail for a vehicle. That's got some detail. It's got the vents, it's got the doors, it's got the lights, it's got the hood. It has the light bar.
And I'm going to go ahead and transform the white one real quick.
So as far as this right here, this is a good looking vehicle mode. A good looking vehicle mode for what it's supposed to be, a fire rescue SUV truck. That's what I get out of it. That's what I get out of it.
And here is the Autobot one. Now obviously, as you could tell, that they're both the same. The only thing that's different is the color schemes. And the sides. And on the back, you can clearly see their heads here. And the other side, and the Autobot version does have some caution stripes here. And the bottom here is also the same here. And here's their faces here. This one has a lighter blue head with a silver face here. And his eyes on this one, on mine, is painted in blue here. which you can see. Whereas Smolder here on mine, they're not really painted in. And he does have some yellow here. And for his arms here, he has some caution stripes on his shoulders here, instead of the Decepticon symbols like Smolder has. And he does have some silver and black paint on the top, and Smolder just has some red. And that's about it for these two.
We are going to get those guys. We're going to put them all in a group right quick so we can take a look at what they're calling their Protectobots. And we're going to throw a couple other factions in here so this way we can kind of get a scale and throw the other vehicles in there. And is that all in?
No.
It's alright. Put that one right there. Now that's kind of what we have right there. So that's a drone. That's a Protectobot. So you can see that the scale is way different than what they're showing. That's why the G1s are still bigger compared to this. Now that's not a bad scale right there. That's more or less a good looking scale right there. Kind of fits the scale. There's another one right back there, first aid. So and this Defensor, y'all have to excuse me, he's kind of dirty. I haven't had a chance to clean him up. He's just been setting up, getting dusty. But anyway, this Defensor right here, if you notice that the combiner comes about right there, still the G1 combiner overrules the core combiner. Is still taller.
Which is this guy. And he comes about right here, you said?
Yes, about right there. And that's pretty much the scale of the core combiners. And so we just wanted to throw that in there so y'all can see some of the scale of what's going on here compared to these drones, which are not bad, but like I said, it's a hit and miss with them. So either you like them, you hate them, or you just collect them because they're part of the storyline, the something that they come up with in the past. So anyway, with that said, still the G1 combiners tower over the core combiners by a good inch or two, as far as what I see with all of the G1 combiners compared to the power core combiners.
And I still think that the G1 combiners looks a lot better than this line, which is power cord combiners.
Now later on, if they decide to redo all this, and it's not a bad idea, but they just need to take more time and thought process into the whole experiment of the power cord combiners.
They have, well, third party did do something to make the power cord combiners a lot better than what Hasbro tried to do.
Okay, I'm not. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. I'm not familiar with it, so therefore Colton's seen it, I have not. So I will have to take his word and I would have to check that out. Because, like I said, this come out and there was a lot of mixed emotions about it. Some people like them, some people think that they're just a waste of money. But this is part 4 of the power cord combiners, and we still have a couple more segments to do and then we will be done with it. But we're only in the middle of it, working towards the end. Because in the defense of the power cord combiners, as far as the main robot modes, they are awesome. They look pretty good. The only problem is, and you'll see with the next review, the one that we're going to get off into, on part 5, we have come across one that does not hold up and peg together that well and stay together that well no matter what you do. And then we even had one that fell apart on us. I mean, literally crumbled in our hands.
Yes.
So, but that's going to be part 5 when we show all that to y'all. So that is it. I don't have anything else to say, and I'm going to let Colton wrap up and take me out of here.
So, if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. Or you could also follow me or support me on Patreon. And I will leave a link to my Patreon account in the description down below. Or you can click on the little Patreon box right here in this corner.
So that is it. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Thanks for watching.